Welcome back to the Hoke English Academy podcast, where we bring you the best insights from expert teachers and practical tips to boost your English skills. Whether you're mastering business English or expanding your conversational skills, we've got you covered. Tune in every week for valuable lessons, real-world applications, and engaging discussions. Let's get into today's episode.
All right, picture this. You're in some bustling market, in another country, and you're starving. But the only thing you can think to say in English is something like food. Good.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there, right?
Definitely.
But today we're diving into how to express, those delicious desires with a little more finesse than that.
It's funny how food goes, way beyond just, simply keeping us alive.
Yeah.
The language everyone gets, right? But then there are all these subtle ways we talk about what we like and don't like.
It's so true. We're going to decode those today. So we've got these excerpts from this English lesson, all about describing food, what you like, what you don't like, but we're going beyond just the basics here.
Right.
It's nuanced vocabulary, cultural insights, all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
So get ready to sound like a natural at that next dinner party. You ready?
Let's dig in.
All right. So the lesson starts strong with, I think, probably everyone's favorite verb, prefer.
Yeah.
Now, you might think, okay, prefer, pretty simple, right? But it's got some hidden depths to it.
Yeah, prefer is like once more polite, older sibling or something. Think about it. Someone says, I want fries versus I would prefer fries.
Okay, yeah.
Which one just sounds a little smoother, when you're trying to have a nice conversation?
Right, yeah, you're not, demanding it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's prefer just adds this, diplomacy to it. Especially in those cultures where, being super direct isn't always the most,
Yeah.
palatable approach, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. But then it gets even cooler when you start using it for, things you do, not just food.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
Okay.
Instead of just what you eat.
Yeah.
So you could say, I prefer trying new cuisines to sticking with what I know.
Ooh, that's good.
It just brings this whole new dimension to how you talk, even outside of just food, which is cool.
I like that a lot. Okay, so that's prefer. We're already, expanding our horizons here.
Exactly.
But it doesn't stop there. I mean, the lesson goes on to these phrases like, I'm partial to, or I have a weakness for.
Oh, yeah, those are great.
This is where it gets fun.
Definitely.
Because then it's not just stating it like a fact.
Right.
It's like you're painting this picture of your taste, adding a little, what's the word? Flair.
Totally.
So, instead of, I like curry, it's, I'm partial to a well-spiced curry.
Ooh.
It sounds way more sophisticated.
It does. It shows you're not just learning these words from a textbook.
Yeah.
You get the feeling, the little details, how people actually talk about this stuff.
It's like that musicality to it, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's leveling up your language game here. You're going from casual diner to Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah.
With just a few well-chosen words,
I love it. And speaking of leveling up, this lesson goes way deeper than just, do you like it or don't you like it?
Okay.
We're going into how to actually talk about making the food. We're talking about words like saute or braise or sear, all those words you see on cooking shows,
Yeah.
So you can really sound like a pro.
And that's honestly where I kind of get tripped up.
Yeah.
Because, I can cook something, right?
Right.
But when I try to explain how I did it, it always just sounds like I put it in the hot pan with the fire.
I've been there. Yeah.
Not very descriptive.
That's where this lesson is seriously helpful, honestly.
Okay, good.
It breaks down all these different cooking words and techniques in a way that just makes sense.
Yeah.
And it makes you actually kind of excited to use them, which is cool.
Because then, like you said, I'm not just cooking onions anymore. Suddenly I'm caramelizing them.
Exactly.
Fancy.
And it sounds so much more, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's not just about sounding fancy either.
Yeah.
If you get these words, you can try out way more recipes and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You can actually become a better cook just from learning these words.
So it's practical too.
Totally. You can try new things out in the kitchen and then obviously brag about it to your friends later.
Yeah.
Using your big vocabulary words.
Exactly. Oh, this little thing. This is just my pan-seared ahi tuna.
Right.
With a little balsamic reduction. I just, threw together.
Exactly.
No big deal. But okay, real quick though, going back to cultural differences, which we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Remember how you were saying chips versus crisps?
Right.
Are there any other food words that are, I don't know, kind of tricky like that?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Okay, we'll take, like, the word stew.
Okay.
It's a dish you see all over in tons of different cultures.
Uh,
But how it's made, and even the word they use for it, can be totally different.
really?
Yeah. In some places, stew means this, like, super hearty meal, simmered forever, with big pieces of meat and vegetables and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But somewhere else, it might be more like a soup, almost.
Uh,
So even with a simple word like stew, there's all this hidden stuff.
like you think you know a word,
Exactly.
and then you realize, oh, there's all this like cultural baggage it carries, you know?
That's what I love about this whole thing. It's way more than just an English lesson.
Yeah.
It's like a crash course in all these different cultures.
Through food, yeah.
Exactly. Through what people eat.
Yeah. It really is. It's like that quote, tell me what you eat and I'll tell you who you are. But we're going a step further, right?
Totally.
We're learning how to actually describe all that stuff in another language, which is amazing.
Yeah, it is. And you know what I like about this lesson? It goes beyond just the words themselves.
Okay, yeah.
It gives you all these real-world situations where you'd use them.
That's helpful.
Because, like, we can learn a bunch of fancy food words, but we've got to actually use them.
Exactly. I mean, how many times have you been, like, at a restaurant in a new place and you're trying to order, but you end up just, like, pointing at the menu,
Oh, all the time.
hoping for the best, right?
I'll take that one. That looks good.
Yeah, exactly. But now imagine you walk in there, you've got this vocabulary, you're confident, you say something like, okay, I'm kind of in the mood for something, you know, light, but also flavorful. Could you maybe tell me a bit more about the,
The seared scallops?
with the lemon herb vinaigrette?
Ooh, yes. Sounds so much better than just like, number 3, please.
Right. Plus, you might actually learn something interesting about the food.
Right.
Instead of just whatever they bring you, you know?
It's like you turn going out to eat into this whole conversation.
Yeah. And it's not just restaurants either, right? The lesson talks about just like everyday conversations about food.
Totally.
Like talking about your weekend plans, or if you're like swapping recipes with someone.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's so cool to be able to actually describe, like, the food you had, not just, yeah, it was good. You can say, oh, man, I went to this Ethiopian place. You have to try it.
Oh,
The spices were amazing, and they have this bread called injera. You know, like,
Yeah.
really paint them a picture.
Exactly. You're sharing a whole experience at that point, not just, you know, what you ate for dinner last night.
It's like you're using food to actually connect with people,
I love that.
to get them to see something new
Yeah.
and make your bond stronger.
Yeah. And the more you use these words, the easier it gets.
Oh, totally. You'll be surprised how naturally it all comes out.
It's like you're not just learning about, I don't know, ingredients and recipes. You're learning about people, you know,
Yeah,
and about traditions and like what brings us all together.
that's a beautiful way to put it.
So I don't know about you, but I'm walking away from this deep dive thinking food, it's not just fuel, right?
No way.
It's this whole like storybook of different cultures, a symphony of different flavors.
I love that.
And now with our awesome English skills, we can really like savor every single bite.
Exactly. Go out there, explore all those amazing foods,
Yeah.
and never be scared to be like, hey, what's in this delicious dish?
That's such good advice. This was awesome. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
Thanks for tuning in to the Hoke English Academy podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. For personalized English lessons and more learning resources, visit us at hoke.school. See you next time.